RSL Nation! We're
Hey,
back.
we're doing
Oh,
this again.
we're
We
doing this again. I
we are
see. I
doing
see.
this again. Welcome back to another episode of the RSL Bros.
I'm excited.
Feels good. Feels good to be back, guys.
It
It
does feel good to be back,
even though it's literally it's a week at a time, guys. But somehow a week without RSL is a long time
and so much has happened,
in like all levels of soccer.
which is wild. I think we were worried about not having things to talk about with RSL taking a break. Oh no, we got stuffs to talks about. Um, so we've got a fun-filled episode for y'all today. Alan, should I give them a breakdown?
Do it. Give them
All
the
right.
breakdown.
So I'm kicking things off. You may notice that Alan's not taking the lead because here's the thing. Alan and Marcos went to the Club World Cup without me. And so I wanted to kind of kick things off and hear from them about their experience because we went and supported our favorite Argentine team, River Plate, which are unfortunately our quasi hometown team is second place because our family's River fans, but we'll support Atletico Tucumán, right?
Sure.
Um, we'll talk about them. We'll talk about the Club World Cup as a whole after hearing about their experiences, and especially because of some of the results that happened this past week, which have implications to MLS and obviously, hopefully, potentially to RSL as a whole.
Hopefully.
After after that, we'll move on and talk about the Gold Cup real quick. Talk about Luna and his the impact that he makes when he gets on field, and then we'll talk about RSL coming back this Saturday, going out to the Blue Hell
Heck yeah.
SKC,
Yeah, yeah.
It's
you know,
about time. It's about time.
FUKC, and then we will end with my favorite Instagram questions.
Heck yeah.
All right, so
Let me just say really quick.
oh,
This is the first time ever that I have not looked at any of the questions today. So I am going in there blind just
oh,
like you guys.
Oh.
blind as me without contact lenses in. Um,
Hmm.
so, but let's start. Alan, Marcos, tell us about the trip. How was it? How much did you miss me?
Um, Not gonna lie, it was well, why would I lie? But it was a lot of fun on a lot of levels. Um, Heck, even my dad, for those that know him, even got involved, and it made it just a little bit. It made it better. The fact that he got himself involved in a lot of the things that we did, um, and the trip was. We'll say it was long, but worth it. Especially with we got into LA on Friday, and uh, and that's where we went straight to the beach, right, Marcos?
We did go straight to the beach, and boy, the River fans showed up in that pep rally the day before. I would say about 5,000 plus River fans
Ooh.
with their drums, with their flags, just going crazy on the beach, and it was amazing. I was like, uh this is a preview of what's to come the next day.
Yeah.
And,
Well, go ahead.
well, and was it?
Well, it was, but I don't want to get too far ahead because
Sure.
Friday on the beach, they call it a banderazo. For those who know Spanish, bandera is flag, and so that's why there was a lot of flags. If you saw me and Marcus's posts on either Instagram or Twitter, you saw that there was a lot of flags. So in South American pep rallies, they'd have a lot of flags to show your colors, to show your pride, and like Marco said, 5,000 at least. Some even said there might have been up to 8,000 on that beach. And it was kind of crazy too because there's a couple of times where police trucks, like LAPD, on in trucks like blazing down the beach and with all their sirens, but they were just trying to make sure that everyone was just moving in the pack. They couldn't stand still for safety reasons, whatever. Who needs?
I I think seeing River fans on TV, seeing highlights of that, didn't do it justice. Like once you're there in person, you're like, wow, this is unreal. This is unreal. The enthusiasm that these fans bring and this passion, this love for their club.
It literally felt like they lived, breathed, died
Mhm.
these colors and this team. For to make it put it into context, the most of the people that were there were not from or live in currently the United States. A lot of them traveled by plane to go to LA.
Yeah, yeah. When
There,
when Alan and I were meeting people there at the pep rally, we were asking them, introducing ourselves, and like, oh yeah, we travel from Buenos Aires, we travel from here and here. We're like, wow, that is dedication.
Any Tucumanos?
probably. I didn't
Oh,
meet him in person, but probably. Um, the and if, to put it also into context, put it into numbers. Roughly, the flight from Buenos Aires to LA, we're looking at around 10,000 miles. 10,000 miles. To give you an idea, the farthest point that PSG had to travel was all the way to LA. So Paris to all the way to LA, which is obviously the opposite side of the country.
Is that about the same?
No, 8,000 miles.
So a lot less.
So River and
whoa.
Boca had to travel the farthest in terms of European and South American teams. I can't
Yeah.
speak for obviously New Zealand.
Auckland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't speak
But
for the
but
other African teams.
it's like we said last episode, the flight to Buenos Aires to Miami, flight to Buenos Aires to LA, it's a lot easier than a London to wherever. So
Yeah, and so with that in mind, you see a ton of fans on
mhm.
that Friday pep rally. It got you hyped up for what was to come Saturday because um
Not
eh,
gonna lie, the Friday night going into Saturday, I didn't really sleep. Obviously, because
yeah
I
yeah
was
yeah
sharing a bed.
yeah you're sharing a bed with another adult. That's why.
No, but the fact that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to go to the biggest soccer game of my life, the biggest attendance, and it gave me goosebumps just driving up to the that stadium in the bus and
Yeah. The
Name drop the stadium, Marcos. Come on, you can't just say the stadium. What
the
stadium was it?
the Rose Bowl, the Rose
There you
Bowl.
go.
All right, so going into Saturday, this is how it was. We get to where we're supposed to take the bus, and we got there 3 hours before kickoff. Like
Whoa.
we're we were gonna get there early, and that wasn't actually no. We got there. Yeah, we got there that early. Three. Um,
Facts.
got on the bus, and once we got to the grounds, there was already, if I were to even estimate, I would say at least 15 to 20,000 people already there.
Already tailgating, already doing their asados.
Whoa.
Or you could smell the asados. You could just smell all the atmosphere. And
Ugh,
I'm like,
a good parishada.
we still got 3 hours till kickoff. You guys, like, they don't care. They don't care what time the game is. They were there to support their club, and you could see the River fans. You could see the Monterrey fans just going at it, just battle of the chances, one after another,
Oh
one
yeah,
after another.
that was fun. The Battle of the Songs was a lot of fun. There was a lot of Argentines making fun of Mexicans for being Chavo del Ocho. So it's like they're making fun of like Monterrey saying, "Oh, this is Don Ramon's team. This is whatever." It was a lot of fun. I'll say this, and for any Mexicans that are listening, I'm sorry, but your chants suck. Like absolutely, there was a lot of Monterrey, Monterrey,
It,
Monterrey.
it reminded me of a lot of RSL chants, like I've said before.
Oh, come on. You
Oh,
you
I
just
mean,
threw
but
me under the
fair.
you threw me
That's
under the
fair.
bus.
I mean, we were gonna get there, but
Like, oh, I hate to say it, but RSL is very high school esque when it comes to our chants. Nick Ramondo. It's like
hey,
we could.
hey, hey, hey.
Good name. Bad
It's
Great
like
chant.
name.
no, but I agree with you, Alan. The Mexican chants very subpar, but River a whole nother level of their chants, and I was just like, wow, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Once we spent like an hour on the grounds, and then we got into the stadium at 2 hours before kickoff. Guys, we were there 2 hours before kickoff in our seats waiting. Um, and and we were one of the first, I would say, not to boast, but we were probably one of the first 1,000, 2,000 inside that stadium. So it was empty when we got in there. Um, and within an hour, there were already 25,000 River fans sitting on the north side.
Whoa.
And I lean over to Alan as the River fans are filling in. I'm like, where's Monterrey? Where's their fans? Still empty. Still
It was
empty.
empty.
About 4:30, 4:45, still empty on their supporter side.
They actually didn't fill in until about 15 minutes before the game.
Whoa.
So final attendance for the River fans came out to about 35,000 River fans
Whoa.
out of
Uh,
57,000.
yeah, so we won the
That's
majority, and
insane.
especially it's insane because LA being probably for with I mean, let's just say it's mostly a Mexican city. If we're gonna go with the highest population of Latino community are the
That's fair.
Mexicans, and so to have it be the Argentines outnumber the Mexicans in a stadium that's in their quote unquote hometown in the U.S. is quite a statement.
Yeah.
Um, it during the game. I'm sorry. This is gonna probably last almost the whole episode. Sorry, guys. The game in and of itself was intense. River Plate obviously dominated the whole thing, but couldn't get a goal. That was the most frustrating part. But
Right.
what I want to maybe make emphasis of. Not our experience with the team, but experience in the stadium. They have really Americanized this tournament, and
I
it made the atmosphere absolutely horrid.
I
How
was I was
so?
I was pissed. So you know how at jazz games or anywhere else you have like an announcer to get people hyped,
The
like
MC.
the MC. That
Right.
thank you for that. Where they had let's do this kid against this kid for a trivia whatever. They had something like that. They had a dance off. I'm like, is this necessary? This is a Club World Cup where we have two international teams. A with some stuff like that, and
Now,
Not
so
even
so
RSL does that.
no,
Like,
so the MC dude was. I mean, no, RSL does do that. You guys are out
uh,
in the tailgate, but
well,
the
they do it before the game, but it sounds like this is happening during the game.
no, not during the game.
Okay.
This is pregame. So but in a pregame of in Latin America or we'll say Argentina and Mexico most likely, you don't see an MC running around saying, "Hey, how are you feeling about this game? Tell us what you feel." Blah blah, and then they try to get someone to talk. It's more of just let the fans sing, let the fans cheer
well,
on their team.
on top of the DJ, we have background music that they're playing
Oh, that was
while
loud.
the River fans are trying to start their chants, and you can barely hear them. They're going, and then the music just drains it all out.
Yeah, it kind of threw off the atmosphere. It really did. I looked at my dad. I was like, I can't even hear what song they're trying to sing in order to like sing with them because the stadium music was just so loud. And so there's aspects of this that they just Americanized a little too much.
Okay.
And let
I mean, you got to be fair though. Like, there, people complain about there not being an American soccer culture, but then when they do try to implement it, maybe it was too much, but it's still
I think they tried to bring the NBA into this a little too much, especially
well, it's like
player intros. That's
yeah,
horrible.
it's like what I mentioned before. We don't need those walkouts like that. Treat it like the World Cup. Do all 22 players and the referees walking out together. That's what dragged on the intro so much one at a time.
Yeah, it's not the dragging out part. It's just this isn't an individual sport. This is a team sport, and so you want to bring out your team, not bring out individuals.
Also, yes, this tournament is happening in the US, but we don't need the national anthem to start off the tournament.
Oh yeah, like
yeah, that's weird.
it was 10 minutes before kickoff. The teams had not come out, and they played the national anthem.
And then you got obviously you
Like
got Argentina, Mexico. Everybody's just looking around so puzzled. They're like, what?
Yeah, that is a little bit weird because it's not a game between national teams. Games
No.
between national teams, absolutely play the respective teams' national anthems, right? But this is a club tournament. Like I don't even think they do that during the CONCACAF Champions League
they
or
might.
CONCACAF Champions Cup, the CCC.
They don't even do this in Champions League in Europa.
Well, that's because it's Europe, but we're talking about stuff that happens here. But yeah, it was weird. But af, what am I trying to say? After all that happens, and after everything that did happen, it was a great experience. I only have obviously my self opinions, my personal opinions about what I'm going to implement in terms of my RSL fandomness. Um, I hope. Oh, like for me,
Let's hear it. I mean, if we want to improve ourselves fan culture, increase the life that we see in the stadium, we've got to talk about it.
right?
I think I think first and foremost for me, it comes down to fans showing up early. And when you show up early, that shows your dedication and your love for your squad because yes, this is a Club World Cup, which is a lot more important than an actual in-season game. That makes sense why they'd want to show up early for something like this.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna try to change and implement is I'm gonna try to be more present as a fan. I started noticing that I started getting lazy in my fandomness where I say that's all right. I can miss out on this game. I can just watch it from home, whatever, because I'm not a season ticket holder, and
Mhm.
so the it does take sacrifice to be a fan. I mean, we
Absolutely.
like what me and Marco saw. We saw 35,000 people sacrifice something in their lives to go. And mind you, let me make this emphasis: they weren't individuals. There's a lot of families. This isn't just a the macho men that travel without their families and whatnot. No, these were family events. These were old people, young people, men, women, you name it.
Lots of kids, yeah.
And so if I were to take something away, like I said, I would try to make my family more of a fan of RSL. Try to support local and make it so that RSL is my passion. Just like River Plate is my
Mhm.
passion, I'm gonna try to make RSL more of my passion.
And going to your point, Alan, something that I've been trying to do more, not just because I obviously saw River play live, but it's something I've been trying to tell my friends and tell those who I run into more about RSL. Yes, RSL, they're not doing great this season, but I tell them about our local soccer team. I tell them that we have a professional soccer team here. That's the closest that we can get, and that you can have that love, you can have that passion here.
Yep.
And can I put in a plug as well? You're gonna hate me for this, but we gotta do the same for the Royals, man. Like
Yeah.
No,
that,
it's true.
the
It's true.
the the attendance of the Royals game is pitiful. It is so bad. It's to
Yeah.
the point that I think if the team continues to perform poorly and we don't get attendance numbers up, that they'll sell the team again.
I mean, you're not wrong. So
And the women need the support just as much as the men. And if we're gonna create a soccer culture here in Utah, let's Argentine the crap out of it.
right. Yeah. And mind you, it's not just here that struggles. I mean, in
Sure,
Argentina, the women's league absolutely struggles. Absolutely
but
struggles.
we have the best women in the world,
It yes, we have the United States women that are ranked number one. So we should
and
have the one of the better leagues.
and oh we that's actually debatable, and I'd be curious to see about that because I think the NWSL might be better than people assume, but I don't know. I think it could be debatable, but that's a discussion for another time. I will also say last thing before we move on here. I mean, both RSL and the Royals have incredible players on them that need our support. I'll go with the Royals first. With the Royals, we have Ali Setnor, Mandy McGlynn, Mina Tanaka, these international high caliber players that, again, will leave if they don't get results and support. And then on the flip side, we have Diego Luna, we have Diogo Gonçalves, we have Dominic Marchuk, in quality international players. Oh, sorry, almost forgot. I don't want the Glazer to come after me. Rafa Cabral. um, we have these massive international players that again need our support.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And that's the thing. Support needs to be there. I think everyone in RSL Nation can do better. Let's just say
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
And I think we should do better. We're here for the club. We're not here for individual players. We don't. It doesn't matter the results, and that's another. Again, this conversation could go on for a long time. The River Plate fans didn't care about the result. It's like whether we win, whether we lose, we are here. This is
Oh yeah.
our team.
Of course,
What does the Believe song say?
stand up on your feet, shout it out, Real.
Yeah.
We're here for RSL.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Of course, I'm upset that I didn't get to see River score goals or win a game, but just being there live and seeing them was just icing on the cake.
I just thought of something. I've had an experience y'all haven't had.
you experienced the national team.
I experienced both national teams. So
It's true.
I feel a little bit better about myself now. But let's
You do have that one. You have that one on us.
and it was Argentina versus Chile too. It was a rivalry game. That was
That's-
so good.
Yeah.
But
But
we saw some World Cup players in this game, so
that's true. You saw Montiel. So
and,
but talking about international players in the Club World Cup, let's talk about the Club World Cup as a whole because we're still continuing to see European clubs struggling to perform against American clubs, both North and South American clubs. There's two continents, North and South America, Central America's a region. That's it. Anyway, and we saw, I mean, I think the biggest result was absolutely the fact that Auckland FC tied their game today against Boca. That's okay. That's not the biggest, but good for Auckland. Like seriously,
Yeah.
round of applause to you, Auckland FC. But
well, I called it prior to this tournament when I saw these groups. Boca is not the same Boca that we've seen in previous years, and that this high caliber team from Argentina. No, they've been struggling. So surprise, yes, not really, but I'm happy, super happy
but
to see Auckland get this.
absolutely, and we take a look at these results. Obviously, the big one to talk about is Inter Miami beating Porto.
Yeah.
That is massive. I don't care. At the end of their season, they played 60 games.
Guys,
If you're one of these people who believes that the Porto should be dominating every single team in MLS, explain that result in a tournament that does have implications.
well, I think one of the biggest arguments right now for the Euro snobs is that yes, it's the end of the season. They've had long seasons. Most of these teams have played Champions League, their own leagues, their own tournaments. But what a lot of them have failed to look at. I'm going to look at Palmeiras as an example. If you look at their fixture in FOTMob, if you go back as far as you can, the only break since last I'll even say since the end of last July that they've had was December. So from the second week of December all the way to the second week of January. After that, they've had no other breaks. They've gone week in, week out, every 3 days a game. And that's for Serie A. It's Brasileirão and Copa Libertadores.
And they still picked up 5 points in their group.
Yeah. Oh, and they added another tournament, Paulista. So there's 4 tournaments that Palmeiras, and they had. In fact, there's a list. Oh shoot, I can't remember where I put the list. I think Palmeiras had within the last 12 months
77 games. I saw that list.
78 games.
78. Excuse me.
And so the closest European team was, I think, Real Madrid. They had 62. So that means they had 16 less games than Palmeiras. You can maybe argue level of competition, but that still doesn't take away the fact the amount of games, because even these top European teams are playing against lower level teams. Either like Copa del Rey, you're playing against lower level teams. You're even the group stage of Champions League. You're not playing against the highest level. If you're gonna play against Copenhagen is probably just like an MLS level team. So it's not like the difference in competition isn't too different.
I found it. It was on Troll Football.
Okay.
Let's see. Number one is Flamengo with 78
That's
games
what it was.
played. Botafogo with 73. Fluminense with 72. Palmeiras with 70. What's the name of the Egyptian team?
You're thinking
Al
of
Ali.
Al Ain.
Al Ali with 66 games. Then we have the first European team, which is Real Madrid at 62 games. Then Inter at 59. PSG at 58. We don't get to which team are we talking about? Porto until number 11 at 56. And they are only one game ahead of, in count, of LAFC and River Plate.
Yep. So having an exhausting season is not an excuse. Sorry, Euro knobs, snobs. Why do I call them knobs? So they're probably knobs, anyways. That argument is probably the stupidest thing that could come out of your mouth.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
give me another excuse.
And now, and I think the biggest question for me, and we had the same idea. You put out the question first, so I'll give you credit for this question, though, Alan. Um, Inter Miami beats Porto, and part of it is that uh, Don Garber, who I haven't trash talked lately, which is fine, basically gave them a blank check to build their team with,
Facts.
which no other team really in MLS has, and we're seeing the fruits of it. So does this set a good precedent? And actually, I'm gonna hopefully be in agreement with Don Garber on this. Hopefully, I'd meet him on a middle ground here to either remove or at least significantly raise the salary cap of MLS teams to make them more competitive on an international level, which will attract better players, bigger games, more money for the league. What do
I
y'all
wouldn't
think?
I wouldn't be opposed to raising the salary cap. I'm hoping with Miami obviously being the lone MLS team to make it out of group stage to see some changes come next season, whether it be something like a salary cap or whether it be whatever the case may be. But we need something with that.
I think like I mentioned in our group chat, this is, I think it sets a precedence of if you loosen the salary cap a little bit, you let a team spend a little bit more, then they can give you players that have a big enough impact to play against more important teams. We'll say, it's not to say that let's just let the lid off and let's just spend whatever. But I think this also has to do with owners that are willing to spend, because now for instance, if we bring it back to RSL, we now have the Millers. The Millers aren't known as big spenders on players. They try to look for quality players, which great,
It's admirable.
Yeah.
yes. But could if the salary cap was raised or let loose, do you think RSL or the Millers would take advantage and try to get players here? Do we have a product that's attractive enough to get players here without having to break the bank? That's the fear as well, because I think here our location isn't the best, especially for those that are traveling internationally. They have to make stops along the way with flights. We don't have direct flights, a lot of direct flights, and so it's. I mean, it's
And
a it's a
I think
reason.
when it I think also when it comes to the salary cap, if it to be raised, it comes down to for the Millers, what's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish with this kind of money? Are you trying to get right back, a nine, a right mid? All these things, these questions.
I'll even broaden that. What's your goal? Is it to win a league?
Yep.
Is it to develop younger players to sell more to, like,
Exactly.
what is your main reason for wanting to spend more?
Yeah.
So so having Inter Miami move on, I think, is a huge statement to what could happen. Like what you're saying, Christian. Like, this could be the future of MLS,
Like
but
of course it pains me to see some future. Of course it pains me to see a team like Miami, all these superstars make it out of the group
why?
stage.
But
Why
why?
did it?
No,
Why?
no,
Why?
I'm not. because, like I said, they're just showing that just money can just buy you
But
this.
money does buy the talent. That's what we see that with City.
That's
We see that with Real Madrid. We see that with all of them. Money buys talent. That's
It's
the
true.
that's the thing.
because yes, you can develop the talent, but guess what? The talent attracts money, and the talent goes to where the money is.
I get the small town feel. I get it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you want to just like develop your own and like yeah, we do it on our own. Like
yeah.
yeah, hard work.
I'm all about the academy. I'm all about these young folks. No, but seeing a team like Miami get out of the group stage and then they're granted more money because I can't remember how much money they're given now that they're in the knockout stage, but it's gonna be quite a lot. It's gonna be a good amount.
I mean, all I'm saying is that money moves in soccer, probably with other sports too, but money moves and money talks. So if uh, if MLS wants to get anywhere, the next step is not pro rel. The next step is getting rid of the cap.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's
So
that's all I got.
so besides Miami making some noise so far in this Club World Cup, who's been your surprising team that's made some noise that you're kind of like, whoa, I didn't expect this team.
Like in terms of who's been moving on so far.
Yeah, or who has a good shot to. Obviously, we still have teams that still have to play a third game.
To be honest, I think Inter is the only one that has surprised every other group. I
Hmm.
think it has been expected. You have PSG and Botafogo, Benfica, Bayern. Right now, Flamengo and Chelsea are going to be moving on. Um,
I think for me, it's a team that's third place in their group. It's Mamelodi.
Yep.
Yes, they have to play their game tomorrow, but you look who they have to play, and it's against Fluminense. So
Group
it,
F is still
it's
everything to play for, except for
it's
Ulsan.
not it's nothing like Group G, where Group G was decided before they even started playing one game.
Uh,
seriously.
No, but Mamelodi's my team to watch for right now because they've made a little bit of noise.
By the way, um, if speaking of what ifs, Group H, there is still a way for either Salzburg or Real Madrid to be eliminated.
oh
It's
my
true.
gosh,
All
tomorrow's gonna
all
be wild.
Al Hilal, well, Thursday. Real
Thursday.
Madrid
Or
plays
Thursday. Eh.
Al Hilal plays Pachuca, which they're currently in last place, and then Salzburg plays Madrid.
So here's the thing: if Salzburg can win Al Hilal, all they have to do is win by two or more goals.
Oh
If
my gosh.
if Madrid and Salzburg tie, Al Hilal need to win by more than 3 goals, 3 or more.
That's a tall task. Pachuca's still good.
I don't think it's a tall task for Al Hilal.
Mm-mm. It's possible. It's very possible. Oh my gosh, Group H is gonna
Weren't you
groups
guys
F
weren't you,
and A.
weren't you anti Saudi Arabia though?
No, no,
To
no.
Uh,
I'm anti-Real Madrid every single day of the week.
yeah.
I will cheer for any team except for Real Madrid. I hate Real Madrid.
Even Manchester United,
Yes.
even Boca,
Oh, that you're pushing it.
oh,
even the Galaxy.
even the Rapids.
Stop it. You guys are putting me in a really tough position that I don't like. I feel uncomfortable. This is not a safe space.
But any other thoughts though on the Club World Cup or what actually what games are you looking forward to over the next
Our
few
game.
days?
Our game. That's the only one I'm looking forward to is our game tomorrow.
River Milan tomorrow, but I think the one that I think everybody should have circled on their calendars for the knockout round.
PSG Miami.
No, 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 no. Palmeiras Botafogo, Battle of
Oh,
Brazil.
that is going to be a big one.
Oh, that one is going to be huge. Battle of Brazil, right there.
Um, yes, that where I want to know where they're playing that game. That
I
has to be a huge stadium.
Road trip, road trip.
They're actually playing
road-
that. They're playing that one in Pennsylvania in the Eagle Stadium.
Oh.
What?
Yep.
Oh, hey, that means Botafogo is going to
So
win because
that
nobody
game,
that wears green wins in that stadium.
that game is at 10 o'clock on Saturday. That was cheeky. That was cheeky, Christian. That was cheeky.
That was a zinger.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, flip. Also, real quick, maybe to close this out. PSG versus Miami. This is the first time Messi is facing his ex team.
Ever.
Oh yeah, because he's
He
never
never played Barcelona.
interesting. But yeah, this is Messi's first battle of the exes, and so this is going to be very interesting. I don't think there's bad blood, very much bad blood, except for between him and the fan base.
And Mateo also has a grudge against Paris.
Well, yeah, yeah, but yeah, Luis Enriquez obviously is
Oh,
near and dear to
yeah.
his heart. There's a couple of players. So, anyways, Messi's first battle of the X's. That's all I had to mention that before we move on.
That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so all the knockout rounds kick off this Saturday. We got 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday, so it's gonna be good.
All right, so let's move on to, unfortunately, the less exciting competition that's going on right now, which is the Gold Cup, which is sad because I usually love watching the Gold Cup. Um, you know me, I'm a huge U.S. national team fan of both teams, right?
Yep.
And but I've just been less motivated to watch this, especially, I mean, right now I haven't really been paying attention because the U.S. qualified. They won all three games in their group, which I'm sad to say was a pleasant surprise.
Yes. Yes. In fact, yes.
I was
And
expecting at least not 9 points. I was expecting somewhere but 6 or 7.
seven, yeah,
Yeah,
because but the U.S. talking about them first, they rounded out the group with full 9 points with a fantastic goal differential of a positive 7. So now, question for you: does this shush everybody, or is there still more left to prove?
Like, do you want me to
from
tell you what I've seen on Twitter? It doesn't
What
shush anyone.
I was gonna say, what, but for you, is this satisfactory, or is this a okay? You've done the bare minimum. We still need more.
I for me, this doesn't mean anything. It should. That's the sad part. But this isn't any statement. This is where we should be all the time, and so I don't think I'm trying to be not as negative as I could, but I, this is expected. Like we shouldn't be celebrating the expected level. We should be celebrating overachievements. And right now, well, not right now. I think as U.S. fans, we should be expecting us to either get to the final of this or win this. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And so the fact that we got 9 points out of the group, expected. Let's not celebrate it. Let's move on and focus on the next opponent.
And what is crazy is that for me, I thought I still stand behind this. Is this is still Canada's tournament to lose? However, the U.S., regardless of if Canada wins tonight, which they should, but
it's still tied 0-0 right
still
now.
tied 0-0 right now. The most they'll walk away from this group stage is going to be the most they can walk away with is 8 points, which
But
means both the U.S. and Panama will have been top of the. I would put them at the top of the power rankings, which I would probably list Panama, U.S.
uh
Actually,
and
no. The most they can't get is 8. Canada can't get 8. The most they can get is 7.
yeah,
oh, you're right, 7.
Yeah,
but
right now they're sitting at 5 with the current result.
I think what should worry U.S. fans is right now, as it stands, Canada is on the same side of the bracket as the U.S.
Mm.
So you'd have U.S. Costa Rica, obviously that one's going to happen, and then you'd have Canada against Guatemala.
And don't sleep on Guatemala.
Don't
No,
sleep on Costa Rica.
no,
Like,
Panama is my team. Panama is my team to keep an eye out. Panama has been looking cheeky good.
I mean, they do have 10 goals for them so
yeah,
far.
I
Yeah,
think Panama's always been a sleeper in CONCACAF, and I think people always forget about Panama. They've just had the misfortune of being, especially when it comes to World Cup qualifying, of being up against, at the time, it was just the United States and Mexico and Costa Rica being the big dogs that kept coming through. And then, because of the US's blunder against Trinidad and Tobago, Panama finally qualified for the World Cup during the 2018 World Cup, and that was actually really cool to see them go to the World Cup. I always get excited seeing new teams go to the World Cup. Like
Absolutely.
I'm one of those fans like they're expanding the tournament. Cool, because you see teams like Uzbekistan qualify for the first time. And you see how much it means to those people,
But
Right.
still no
and
Venezuela.
which is
Venezuela.
wild.
Well, I mean, not wild. 'Cause if obviously looking at the countries they have to play against. Um,
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
But something that I want to mention, I brought it up last episode, is the attendance. We saw US versus Haiti. They're obviously playing in
Oof.
Dallas Cowboy Stadium. Attendance for this game was 20,918 in a 100,000 seat stadium.
I'm not surprised. That's the city of Cowboys fans, but
You're
But,
with you're with these NFL references.
but but this was on a Sunday evening. Like, what else do people have to do on a Sunday evening? Like,
I
they're
mean,
Cowboys fans. They're crying and
you're,
in their boots at home. Come
I
on, man.
I mean, you're not wrong, but here's the thing. I think, and we read this on Tactical Manager on Twitter. He says the Gold Cup's only downfall is the fact that they're having this tournament at the same time as the Club World Cup.
that's true. That's true.
I somewhat disagree though, because the games are being played in different cities, which
Well,
means that attendance shouldn't be an issue.
and I think the biggest thing that's killing the Gold Cup is price of tickets. I think $90 was like the cheapest for one game, and I can't remember who it was. It's like, come on, you're playing at these MLS stadiums, and they can barely get 10,000 people to show up for this Gold Cup game. Like, be more reasonable.
Well, I think that's what FIFA did. Everyone heard it. The first game of the tournament, they dropped ticket prices down to like $10 for the cheapest ticket. I mean,
They
just to
did
get,
end up filling up the stadium because of that.
and so here's the thing. I'm not a businessman, but I think at some point FIFA, MLS, CONCACAF, they need to figure out a better ticket price ratio in order to get more butts in the seat. Because even for RSL games, the prices fluctuate, and we have some games that where the cheapest ticket is $35, and you're like, what? $35 to go see RSL? Whereas some games you might have the cheapest ticket being 20, $23,
True.
15.
Obviously, this is going to be different come next year for the World Cup. But if ticket prices are insane as they are, who knows? Who knows? Like, we're seeing
They are
right,
going to be insane.
yeah, like that. I'm kind of nervous because we're seeing right now with the Club World Cup all these midday games, a lot of hydration breaks, which are killing players.
Look, I what I did see, another observation from the Club World Cup, speaking of ticket prices, is that the River Plate game, the cheapest ticket was going for about 35, $40. They dropped them, hard rock drop, um, but they put them at the very ends where the fans were, and they let people just roam around and just sit wherever they wanted. So there were people legit. There were people that were buying $40 tickets and coming to the midfield and just taking a sit in one of the best seats in the house. I was like, look, I'm a fan of order, law and order,
Yeah, you got to
but
enforce that.
I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah,
But I think if FIFA wants to maximize money, and like, sure, put a little bit of a premium because it's the World Cup. Like, World Cup, especially when you get to knockout stages, yeah, it'd be fair to charge 40, $50 minimum for a
Yeah,
ticket, right?
yeah,
But you're gonna make a lot more money off of merch.
yes. Also, but
Like,
I agree.
I
I mean,
mean, I don't see anybody in here wearing soccer merch at all. Not in this podcast room.
I think I only see one that's not.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't change after I worked out.
You you are the worst.
I am the worst. It says right here. Um, so now looking forward to the knockout stage here of the Gold Cup. What do you think, like, to get attendance up, what do you think that they have to do to make sure that these teams feel supported, especially the US? I mean, for us, our focus here, I know that we have our dark horse choices, right, of who we think could actually really perform well, but we're in the United States, we're hosting the Gold Cup. we need the we need U.S. fans to show up. What do you think needs to be done so that they show up for Sunday?
I think we scratch this tournament as a loss in terms of fans. Honestly, you scratch it up as a loss because the product isn't attractive. It's not. Um, for for me, the U.S. don't play an attractive game, and
Sure.
so I'm less likely to watch them. Even though I am a fan, and I did preach at the very beginning of this episode that I need to be better, but there's a if there's an attractive product, I will watch it. And because my heart and soul isn't into the U.S. national team, that's my issue. And I think that's the issue with a lot of fans is that their heart and soul isn't into this national team. I think we've been disappointed too many times, and since the 2017 debacle where we missed the World Cup, we lost a lot of people, a lot of faith in this team, in this national team, in the
So,
federation.
so we have a year. U.S. Soccer Federation, Marcos, what do you think that the U.S. Soccer Federation could do to try to bolster fan support before the next World Cup?
Besides actually winning games, I think I think if this team were to make a deep run in this Gold Cup, if they were to raise the trophy, I think that would open up some fans' eyes, be like, okay, okay, I think I believe. I think I want to jump back on. So I think it starts with that. Like Alan said, don't worry about the fans you have now because those aren't going to change right now. But just focus on winning. Focus on the 11 guys on the pitch because right now they have a good product. What they did in the group stage, just continue that same thing now in the knockout stage against Costa Rica.
I think maybe not to go drag a dead horse through mud on this one, but I think you mentioned the players. I think we're still having issues with players, trying to get the right players together, and trying to get the players that usually are there to quote unquote behave
For sure.
and act like they're on the national team. So
For sure.
I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that we could talk about, but I think right now I'm going to chalk this tournament up as a loss in terms of attendance, in terms of U.S. national support. I think the Mexicans are going to beat us on the support side. Costa Ricans are going to beat us. Panamanians are going to beat us. I mean, everyone else is going to support their national team better than us right now.
All
Reality.
right. Well, I think we need a change of pace here and talk more positive things.
Like Luna.
Laga
Like
Luna.
Luna. Let's talk about Diego Luna. Marcos, did you see the
We were in the car, so
Yes.
but we did track the game. I was surprised a little bit that he didn't start, but then I learned obviously because yellow card accumulation. But
Hmm.
he did have a good time off the bench. He was very
Just a
solid.
good time? Bro,
Solid performance by him, and he changed the momentum, changed the whole everything once he came off the bench.
that's the thing maybe to highlight out of that last game for the U.S. is it was pretty lull, pretty lackluster. I mean, it was. I mean, you're playing against Haiti. I mean, how much can you really talk about playing against Haiti? But the fact that we were still what was it 1-1 when Luna came on,
Hmm.
it
Yep.
was it was not good. I mean, and I when I saw the lineup, let me pull up the lineup one more time. When I saw that we were playing Aronson and Sullivan on that same line, the
Yeah.
the attacking mid and the right wing, I was like, no, 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 nothing. I mean, I think Fought Mob's ratings are are
Are
misleading.
generous, are a
Are
little too generous.
I think they're misleading. Yes, Aronson may have gotten an assist, but I think the play, like I said, the U.S. does not play attractive ball. But
Mm-mm.
Tillman is a highlight. Tillman is really good right now with this team, with this group of players,
Hmm.
um, and I think that's the only one I personally can really highlight. Ajimanj, I don't like. Charlotte fans can preach him, can praise him. They can do all they want.
We're not a Charlotte podcast.
No.
Exactly.
Well, here's a question for both of you guys. Out of the 11 players that we've seen start so far in these 3 games of the Gold Cup, is there anybody that you see that won't be on the roster come next year?
Like a lot of these players. Um, I I
Or we'll change it. Who do you think will be?
Tillman will be, Luna will
Yep.
be.
Yep. They're gonna include Johnny Cardoso.
Obviously, Tyler Adams will be.
Right. I don't think they should include Cardoso. Johnny should
I
not be on there.
I know, but
But
especially if
he hasn't started. He hasn't
No.
played. Or he played a little
no,
bit.
he started.
No, he started the first game.
Yeah,
First game. What about second?
I don't remember.
Put you on the spot right
Um,
now.
nope, he did not.
So for me, Johnny is a big empty bag of blah. Like I I think he's just all name and no show. De La Torre is going to be a backup for sure. But other than that, I'm not too impressed with anyone else. Freeze, I think, is really replaceable. Gavin Beavers should be right there instead
Oh
of
my
Freeze.
gosh.
I mean,
The goalie position, I think, out of every position for the U.S. men's national team is one that scares me the most.
in fact,
I said it when Gavin was with RSL that he is going to be the next face of the U.S. men's national team. I say by 2030 he will be the starting goalkeeper.
Yeah,
you heard it here. You heard it here, right?
yeah. I'm not gonna clip it. I'm not gonna save it for 4 years. Sorry, bro. Yeah, I think there are very few players on this team right now that are actually going to be in the World Cup roster / maybe starting.
The-
Ajimund,
I-
Ajimund is number 4 or 5 on the list.
Yeah. I don't envy Pochettino right now with the pool of players that he has to pick from to build a World Cup roster, because all we're going to be relying on are friendlies. There's no actual competitive nature to get us into World Cup mode.
It's true.
And so that's the dangerous part about being a host, is that we don't have to compete to get in because we're in. And so we're all like this, go la di la di la di la. Oh, we're in the World Cup, and now we have to build a roster.
But what was my biggest complaint, Marcos, about the U.S. right now is the lack of consistency with their starting lineup. You don't see this kind of rotation between FIFA windows for Argentina, for Brazil, for any of the upper national teams. You don't see this kind of turnover ever.
Well, it's because we've seen in several years now that the U.S. just treats this game as the B team, the C team, where that shouldn't be the mentality ever going into a tournament for your country. No. So,
yeah, I shake my head because it's going to be the same example as always. Messi never turns down an invite. No one in the Argentine national team turned down an invite.
It's Messi's birthday today as of when we're recording this podcast, which cumpleaños feliz, deseamos a ti que el cumpla feliz, que el cumpla feliz to Messi, right? He's 38 years old as of today.
What a dog. What a dog.
And he is still playing for the national team. And he's not always starting. I think he's actually starting to phase himself out slowly. But like, he's still showing up for his team.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's like what you said, Christian, before. It's a topic that we're just killing and killing and killing, but it's the truth. I think right now the lack of consistency in our lineup is what's hurting the national team. And I think if we're going to be really selfish in this sense, if we can get Diego Luna more with the first team, if we're going to call him that, I think he is going to be the very likely starter on that left wing.
He's already one of the faces of the national team with his awesome little curled mustache. I wish I could grow that. You know who could probably grow that out of the three of us, Alan?
Who?
Marcos. Guess who shaved when he didn't have permission to? Marcos.
I have permission now.
Bro.
You do now.
Bro.
You do now, but not before.
Bro.
You're lucky that Johnny scored.
No, but I don't. U.S. should not take Costa Rica lightly. Costa Rica is going to be a heavy opponent in this knockout round on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
that with a PH.
Fat.
All right. Gold Cup. Watch the U.S.
Yeah. But we ended that topic as exciting as it actually is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Canada, El Salvador at halftime, and El Salvador has 2 red cards.
2 red cards?
Dos.
Wow.
Well,
And Canada still hasn't scored yet, so that just shows you. And Canada missed a PK.
all right. Well, yay. Anyways,
Woo! Okay. Let's let's talk about happier things like the return of our favorite club, Real Salt Lake.
yeah, let's do it.
Well,
Yay!
RSL,
No,
RSL.
RSL.
because of LAFC, we would have been playing tomorrow, but because LAFC made the Club World Cup, we got to play Saturday instead.
I'm
We
fine
would
with
have.
it.
Not
Well,
even FOTMob has
they haven't
the
even changed that.
nope.
Hmm. Well, I'll play it on FIFA. How's that? Um, but I'm super excited about this Saturday. It is away, but it doesn't matter. I'm super excited.
Yep. So, first time playing Kansas City this season. Willie and Johnny get to return back to where they have played for several years.
Yep.
Kansas City has a game tomorrow, Wednesday, home against Charlotte. So they have back-to-back home games this week. So that will definitely help for them.
Interesting. So wait, so you're saying Kansas City plays this Wednesday?
They play tomorrow at home against Charlotte, and then Saturday at home against us.
Oh,
That benefits us, really.
maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, we did find this last game off of a 2 week break. I don't want to like toot my horn, but I hope that we can do as well as we did
Mm.
this last game. Though I th I'm still stuck with this last game that we didn't like perform like ooh lights out. It wasn't
Yeah.
like woo the greatest. I'm just glad we got the result, but I, I don't know. I think it's like what we said. This sporting game is a winnable game. We have to do it. We have to.
No, I think our win. I think it just all came down to opponent because it was like, yeah, we're playing DC. It's just like, what do you kind of expect in that
Yeah, but
aspect?
we're not like top of the league right now, so we can't go around like, yeah, we got the result. What do you expect? We got a result. It was sloppy, but we were able to do it. We can do the same thing against this KC team.
Yeah.
Not as clean. This is gonna sound weird, but not. I don't think it's gonna be as clean.
This SKC game is not going to be clean whatsoever. Though I think the biggest question is let's try to get back into gear, RSL gear. What's our lineup going to look like? Because
Well,
we have players that have rested now.
I
I
think we're gonna see a similar lineup to actually what we saw against DC. I really liked our back line, Caliscan, Gladvera, Catrice. I think it's probably gonna be Ruiz Palacio unless is Ojeda back yet? Did he
I
resolve
think
his green card?
Ojeda is back.
Then I would do Ruiz Ojeda instead. Um, and then the front line I would almost keep the same, except I would actually start Dominic over Johnny.
I was about to
Yes.
say Dom is back, so
So that's an interesting one then. Having Dom Gozo and Diogo.
and I think Dom has a lot to prove after Poland did absolutely terrible in the U21. So he's like, yeah, I only got 1 point out of this tournament. I didn't get a lot of playing time, so I need to show up for my team.
I see a lot of positives for having Diogo Gozo and Dom on the same line. That's a line that one has speed and two has the possibility of having really good precision, especially with Diogo. Diogo's passes against DC United were on point.
They were.
Um,
Oh, it was so nice to see that.
It was clean.
I was happy to cheer for Giogo, and I'm sure he was happy to have people cheer for him.
Very clean in his touches. And I've mentioned this before, but now with RSL's win 2 weeks ago against DC, we're looking at 4 points out from the last playoff spot. So that means moving forward, especially on Saturday, these are must win games. KC 6 points out from that last playoff spot. So this is crunch time.
Mhm.
yeah, and you have a Houston who's above us that plays against Minnesota. That's going to be a rough game. FC Dallas is going to be in a battle against San Jose, and Colorado has to go against the last place LA team. But Who knows? I mean, the the Rapids have been actually struggling in
Hmm.
recent form. So if we can get a win, I think we can definitely get ourselves up to 10th place if obviously the results fall our way. That's that goes in the direction obviously that we need to go. If we can get 3 points here, 3 points afterwards against what was it, Houston, and then 3 points afterwards. Who was it? Portland? I can't remember. Marcus is not looking at the schedule like he should.
No, after KC, we're home next Saturday against St. Louis.
Oh, that's what it is. St. Louis, then Houston. That's what it was.
Yep.
Um, again, winnable games, and especially
Yep.
if look, let's talk worst case scenario. The U.S. loses to Costa Rica on Sunday. We get Luna back for the July 4th game, July 5th,
Fifth.
Fifth.
the 4th. um, we
That would
get
actually
we
that
get
would be
Luna back.
huge. That'd be huge.
So technically, we have the potential in worst case scenario for the U.S. to only have Luna miss one more game with us for us. Now does that change the way you cheer for the U.S.?
No, never,
Just
never.
just
No,
just asking.
we want the best for Luna and the whole U.S. men's national team. But do you guys think that having a 2 week break is gonna help or not at all? Because we saw that last time from the Galaxy game going into DC that we got that win.
I think it was good to go into this break with a positive on a positive note rather than going to a break on a we lost again. We didn't get a good result again and they sit around moping for 2 weeks. They won a game going into the break. They're like, awesome. We got a good result finally. We're gonna rest up and come back and be ready to go. I think like you said, Marcos, Dominic's gonna come in with a chip on his shoulder. And he's gonna be like Boliski, just whatever.
Oh,
However, he goes off in Polish, saying that he's gonna kick some
Bol-
Sporting KC butt. Um,
Bolski.
the- Bolski,
Bolski.
Sport, uh, kick Sporting KC Bolski.
Oh, that's funny.
And but everyone else is gonna be coming in. I mean, obviously Johnny Russell going back home. If you're, if anybody listening is worried about Johnny not playing for RSL, again, just as a reminder, we talked about a little bit this last week, but Marcos asked him, "Hey, you're going back to KC. How you feeling?" And he's like, "Look, it's no secret. I wanted to stay there. They didn't want me. I came here. Be excited to see the people I see, but when it's game time, I'm gonna try to win. I don't care who I'm playing against. I'm gonna try to win." And he's gonna take that mentality and inject it into the locker room there.
Now
I think
imagine
it's gonna
now imagine all of that in a Scottish accent.
imagine all of that in a Scottish accent.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I keep forgetting that we have that video on YouTube, that YouTube short. So go check that out if you're actually really wondering about Johnny's thought process of what he's gonna feel, how he's gonna play against Casey. He lets us know. Now, actions obviously speak louder than words. I don't think that he's going to be starting. In fact, we already just said it.
Yeah.
We don't think he should be starting. But if he does come on, he's you. When you heard him speak, you knew that he was going to do the most that he could for the team. So that's super important. And going back to the 2 week break question or topic, you saw a lot of RSL players getting family time this
Yeah.
past 2 weeks.
You
They
saw
they
Cabral went to
recharged.
Disneyland.
Cabral did go to Disneyland, but they're all recharged. They are
Yeah.
all, I think, rested, and now I think this week is gonna be a week of focus.
Which I really appreciate that some of the guys did that. We saw Henry, we saw Lachlan, they went down to Miami. We saw obviously Cabral went to Disneyland. And it was that time for them to not think about soccer for a little bit and just focus on family, friends, and then come back and be like, okay, got that break. Now it's time to focus for the next half of the season.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, we're ready for this game.
But
You know what?
last thing before prediction time, two players that we need to keep an eye on for KC, Jovic, who came over from Galaxy, 10 goals
Hmm.
already this season. And of course, Salawi, 5 goals this season.
Ay, ay, ay. That's a lot.
I well, this is a very winnable game. Again, just like a lot of the other very winnable games, we can't not take this opponent lightly. And it's a rivalry game. There's no way in heck we should be able to take this lightly. It's a rivalry game. We have a chip on our shoulder. They stole
They
Twenty
stole a
a start
cup.
2013.
from us.
If
Yeah.
VAR was around back then, we'd have 2 stars.
Yep. It's through. It's through. So,
It's time for prediction time. We are not synced at all.
Nope.
Let's see if our predictions are in sync. So, Marcos.
I think a 2-week break definitely helped out RSL big time. And I think we're going to get a 2-0 victory for the Clarendon Cobalt.
All right, Alan.
All right. I might be a little bit more negative. We're going to go a 2-1 win for RSL. The one goal, obviously, but this is going to be a scrappy one, and I think the Young Bucks are going to pull it off.
I'm going to have to agree with Alan. I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory for RSL.
I'm glad we're all in sync for a dub.
We're positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts.
So this Saturday, though, RSL playing against Sporting Kansas at 6:30 p.m. It'll be on Apple TV Plus. But if you're feeling saucy, go to a watch party with the supporters groups. We have fantastic supporters groups that need your support for talking about building up the RSL fan base and the brand that we are. Which I need to go to one of these watch parties sometime. But hey, so do you, Alan.
Hey, shots
Go
fired.
to a watch party. Go to a watch party.
It's true. It's true. Whew, we're almost running out of time.
Marcos, quick! Start the questions.
Instagram questions, go.
We got time for
quick fire.
We got time for a few questions. Do you think RSL will ever get out of their losing streak for more than a few games?
Yes.
Yeah.
It will happen this summer with a lot of back-to-back home games.
It's true. We have July is heavy on home games. So
And August, July and August.
Yeah, so we have 5 games at home towards the end of July. So that will help immensely. I like this next question. So get ready. Is there anyone from RSL's U16 team, obviously they just won, that you could see making it onto the main team in the coming years?
Oh, I'd have to look at that roster.
Alan has 2 of them. Who do you got, Alan?
2, Van Parker and Hashimoto.
Agreed.
Oh, yep. I remember. I watched that game. I heard lots of Hashimoto being quoted, so I'm gonna agree there.
Van Parker was the golden boot for the U16s, and that kid can score. Like, if you guys haven't seen Van Parker, check out highlights of him.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't congratulate them. Congrats, guys.
Like,
we're so proud.
2 trophies for the U16s. Like, the future is bright for RSL.
We love it. I love it.
We still need to buy some players for where we don't develop. So
yeah.
To go back to our earlier point. All right, next one, Marcos, go.
Last question for you guys for this evening. Whose performance have you been surprised with thus far this season?
Pleasantly or disappointingly?
Take it how you'd like.
I'll go optimistic. Cabral. I don't think anybody expected Rafael to come in and be such a massive piece of our team immediately, take such great charge. He is my MVP for the first half of the season.
Here's maybe opening up a can of worms that we don't have time for. If you were to take Cabral and what he's done so far this season and multiply it by the amount of seasons that Raimondo was with RSL, is Cabral better than Raimondo?
Oh, why would you do this at the end of the episode? Why?
I'm gonna let that one cook, but I'm not surprisingly surprised, but I love that we're seeing Gozo. Gozo is absolutely flourishing, and the ceiling, he has no ceiling at this point.
No, I'm gonna have to go with Kaliskin. We have seen what he has brought on that right back position, and it's huge. It's huge. He is somebody who steps up when we need him most. When we have Brown, we have Hidalgo coming off the bench. So huge things for Caliskin. So awesome. Thank you guys, like always, for your questions, for submitting those.
Excited to see the ones after this next week of soccer. There's some awesome soccer coming up this week, so tune in for as much as you can. It's getting hot outside, so what else are you gonna do? Sit at home and talk to people? Ew, gross. No.
Ew, what? No.
Go on dates? What?
What?
Who does that? No.
Ugh. All right. Well, what an episode, y'all.
Loved it. Loved it.
Loved
And,
it. So fun.
In fact, I think we left out so many gaps in there that sorry if we left out so many gaps. But one day, if you like come with us, like sit with us and chat with us, we'll fill in those gaps, all of them. In fact, there was a lot of opinions that were unsaid today.
Oh, always. And come find us at RSL events, at the tailgates before home games. We'll chat your ear off. We'll give you a sticker. We're always happy to chat. Or hit us up on. I mean, you can hit me up on Twitter. Twitter's the best place to contact me. My Instagram's private.
And mine too. So
yeah, so hit me up on X, and if your opinions match or don't match mine, I've gotten into some nice Twitter conversations.
Ooh.
You call them conversations?
Yeah. I'm being nice about it.
Okay. Cool. Appreciate you guys. It's been
All
great.
right, Marcos. Send
If
us
you
off.
guys are not already, follow us on X and Instagram at the RSL Bros. Catch us wherever you catch your podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple.
You almost forgot. You're like, where are we?
I thought you were about to announce a TikTok or something, but nope. Not yet.
Not yet. All right.
Oh,
anyways.
we're not dancing. Ugh.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Bye.